There's several big-name rappers being released from jail in 2026. The first rapper released in 2026 was Fetty Wap.
And rapper Fetty Wap is out with a federal prison early after serving nearly 3 years on charges. He had been sentenced to 6 years. The Federal Bureau of Prisons says that he is now in community confinement, and that means he's at a home or in a halfway house. The rapper, whose real name is Willie Jr. Maxwell II, was convicted of conspiracy to distribute.
However, the biggest rapper set for a release date in 2026 is Lil Durk.
We want to begin now with some breaking news. Rapper Lil Durk is charged in a for hire plot.
After news of Durk's trial being delayed until May 4th, his lawyers submitted paperwork to have Durk released from jail, while using his jail situation as leverage, reading, the Chicago rapper's legal team filed a request for a status hearing regarding Durk being detained in a special housing unit without due process since August 29, 2025. Durk is confined to a small jail cell just large enough for a single bed, a toilet, and a sink for 23 hours a day. The filing continues, reading, he does not have access to commissary. He is permitted one phone call a month and no in-person social visits. He was originally placed in the special housing unit as punishment for being in possession of an Apple Watch. However, Durk's attorneys claim that the alleged infraction has still not been reviewed by the unit discipline committee to determine proper disciplinary action, which would normally happen within 5 working days. We even heard from inmates in Durk's cell block talking about the situation and him being put into solitary.
They got little Durk in a hole for basically some BS. And right now we're going to show the paperwork. They saying that he was caught with a cell phone, and basically that's not true. They trying to keep him in a hole, do a lot of things that they shouldn't be doing or whatever, but they trying to make a point because they saying that me and him is privileged and we got so many things going on, and it's a lot of BS.
But Durk's team put a message on his story in support of him, saying, crazy how you gotta wait until it's dark out to see who really with you. As it's clear that Durk realized people aren't rocking with him as much anymore. Even academics spoke on how every rapper is flipping sides.
I wouldn't be surprised if some of the went on tour with, the songs with, called you they brother, they twin. I wouldn't be surprised if these rappers try to f India. These are down low and dirty. And I think this is what I think Durk right now is thinking, that, man, I thought I was just with a whole bunch of real. No, you weren't. No, you weren't. And I feel bad for Durk. When King Slime got locked up, there was a whole parade. Free him! Free him! Free him! Oh, nah. Everybody would post details of the case. How is this humane? How could they do this? Yo, free not smart. No, free Slime. Durk got locked up. They might give that half a bar. Free Smirk. And they moved the on. I'll give credit. I have heard some of these guys have sent lawyers. Good for that. But Smirk is in there, man, realizing the world don't stop spinning because you locked up.
Academics spoke further on this to say that Durk probably won't be the same type of guy he was before lockup if he ever gets out. Mainly because he was all about loyalty and giving back to those around him, but now they've all left his side.
Let me tell y'all, the Durk y'all loved when he was free, if he gets back out again, he'll never be that Durk. I'm gonna tell you why. He done learned a lot of lessons. This is me assuming, nothing he's told me. But the things that he did for others, y'all know when he came on my podcast, right? And he said, man, yo, Gunna's a snitch. I can't Gunna. Man, that. I don't care. I love Thug. He said that because Thug told him. Yo, what Durk is realizing, Durk is a great soldier, but nobody looked at him like a leader. Durk was willing to move on behalf of the people he's loyal to when they get locked up. When he locked up, they might drop him as a bar in a song, but
With this going viral, prosecutors took notice of what Durk's lawyers were trying to do. In order to sway people away from feeling bad for Lil Durk, they brought new evidence to the courtroom as they showed a 2022 selfie that Durk took with $1 million in cash. While it looks like he's just flexing, there's more to it. Prosecutors say Durk placed a $1 million bounty on Quando Rondo in 2022. The discovery also shows that defendant Banks used his trusted lieutenants, defendant Wilson and co-conspirator 5, to recruit hitmen to fly to Southern California on August 18th, 2022 to take out Quando Rondo. The files continue writing, consistent with Dirk's promise to reward co-conspirators. Defendant Wilson solicited hitmen by promising to pay a $1 million reward on behalf of Dirk in exchange for flying to Los Angeles to commit the crime. In the evidence file, it also reads, they rewarded co-conspirators other things. Dirk was featured in many of the direct participants' music videos and rap lyrics in the months following the crime. One clear example is Dirk's song, Block is Hot, which he created as a reward. But they revealed something more concerning when it was written. Dirk's trial prosecutors say they have several cooperating witnesses who will testify that he was the real organizer of the passings. This has Dirk's team worried that the feds have too many witnesses and snitches against Dirk. However, Dirk's been going through some personal changes while on the inside. With the news writing, people at Dirk's hearing said he looked noticeably thinner and he cut his dreads. With a list of updates which read, judge denied his motion to disqualify. His motion to dismiss for vagueness was denied. His motion for a bill of particulars was taken under advisement, and motion to dismiss count 4 was taken under advisement. A lawyer who took interest in the case gave his take on what the motions being denied really means for Dirk.
I'm a criminal lawyer, and I just learned that the rap artist Lil Durk just had his motion to dismiss his for hire case denied. To be honest, I'm not that surprised. Let me tell you guys something. There's only two ways that Lil Durk is rocking out of that federal courtroom on 2 feet. A jury of 12 people says that he is not guilty, or President Trump pardons him. There's no other way that Durk is walking out of that court free. That judge is not going to be dismissing any key evidence. He's not going to be dismissing any motions. He's not going to do anything that significantly helps Lil Durk walk out of that courtroom without having a trial. Now, how and why am I so sure of this? Well, here's the first thing I want to tell you. Most federal judges used to be federal prosecutors, exact prosecutors that are prosecuting Dirk. A lot of judges used to stand in that very position. Federal prosecutors can be very biased people, and very rarely, once they put on that black robe and become a judge, do they get rid of those biases, okay? That judge very likely probably thinks that Dirk is guilty. He just can't be the one to actually say it.
He claims there's no chance that Dirk gets the case thrown out without having to do the trial first and prove himself innocent. This left creators reacting to his trial.
Remo, this is my last no jumper. Dirk Torre told me I wasn't supposed to come back up here with that last.
Now look what happened to him.
That man got kids. You talking about look what happened to him.
Definitely not happy about him.
I wouldn't be happy if you go to jail, Adam, because I know you got daughter. Break down.
There's multiple people who are no longer there for their kids as a result of that Dirk allegedly called in.
Until they put that on black and white, sir. Stop throwing stuff on a black man who's trying to do something right for the community right now.
The feds have already put out a lot of information about this.
You don't have to put it out. You don't have to put it out.
So
this is a major platform.
You're not the boss of me. We talk about rap on here. I think it is well within our jurisdiction to talk about the fact
that what type of police
has been alleged to have ordered them.
This
free smirk though.
Free smirk. But also maybe
police platform. There's some police.
Just sit down for a little and decide, hey, maybe I'm not anybody else.
We don't have no proof that.
Well,
we don't.
Regardless of the motions being denied, Dirk's team tried for a bond once more, which had Dirk's father thinking they were gonna get it. Words from Dirk's father have Dirk being released on bond. With this being his third attempt, his lawyers made a great offer so the judge can't refuse it.
I just left the courtroom for the bond hearing for my son for at least the third time. This time it was very fair. The judge was very fair. He wasn't pro-prosecutor, he wasn't pro-defense, but he was pro-justice. So he listened to all the evidence, and he's gonna give a ruling in the next few days about what his position is for the bond. But we were very pleased at how it turned out. So continue, family, friends, and fans, continue to keep us in your prayers, and we thank you. And inshallah, God willing, this be victorious for us, that we have a good ruling in our favor.
Although this led into a snitch releasing information from an OTF group chat, which resulted in the report from the courtroom, Dirk is facing allegations from federal prosecutors that he put hits on O-Block members for not retaliating for King Von. Prosecutors plan to introduce testimony from a witness who claims Dirk gave the orders. As the files continued, saying how Dirk feuded with Munna Duke over his belief that O-Block members weren't retaliating for King Von's passing. But this had academics in WAC 100 speaking about what's going on with the snitches.
Life by basically saying he's guilty of for hire, and the only thing that, like, yes, some of these things look suspect. Why'd you go there? Why are these people going there? Why'd you send this message? But nothing. There's no message that they got that says where Dirk says y'all that Quando yet? Nothing says that.
No, you missing the point.
Okay.
They got a witness already cooperating on that. Been had one. We just ain't seen what they said. It's 3 years. One of the cooperating.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah,
So
that's co-conspirator too.
I don't know. You don't need too much more than that. One of is cooperating. Then in the paperwork, you got the conversation. They say they had it in and out. The other 2 was figuring out how they getting paid.
But what's interesting is one of the snitches the prosecutors have was caught lying, which ruins their credibility. As it reads, Dirk could be found not guilty. New court documents reveal the main witness switched up his story. He first claimed there was no bounty. Now he says there was. As sources believed it was Diddy playing with the feds, but it can't be because he's been busy trying to remove himself from the case.
And that's what Diddy did. He's basically saying all this evidence y'all got against Dirk got nothing to do with me. Why you got me charged with Dirk? And that doesn't mean he's going against Dirk. That just means he wants his case severed. And I'm telling you, if it's severed, it helps Dirk. Because one of the main connective tissue to this conspiracy is saying that Dirk told Diddy to hire. Diddy's saying, I ain't get told to hire nobody. And I ain't hiring nobody. What are you talking about? Why would I hire someone? That's his thing.
Due to this, it was reported the prosecutors want to use several pages of new evidence against Dirk, but this will result in his trial being delayed, which might make it possible for a bond release. But the prosecutors had something prepared to ruin his chances. The feds announced they believe Dirk was also behind an attempt on Quando back in 2021 at a gas station in Georgia, as the evidence files claimed there was surveillance footage and witness testimony claiming he was involved in the first attempt. They also note that Dirk raps a line saying, "They're on my page like slide for Vaughn. I know they trolling me." But after the hit on Quando's crew was successful, he said in a podcast, "For some reason, I just don't see them comments no more." But what's interesting is the feds found lyrics that directly lined up to Quando's reaction of the hit happening. Dirk rapped the line, "Told me they got an addy, they got the location, go. Look on the news, see your son screaming no."
Right now, the search is on for 3 people who police say at a Savannah rapper, a member of his entourage. It happened in Los Angeles, and cameras captured the aftermath.
This man, a passenger in that car, frantic at the sight.
Although Dirk's lawyers have stuck to the story that the charges against Dirk are outrageous, as Dirk's lawyer Drew Findling spoke about the case here.
The case is as follows. So there was an indictment that did not name him, right? It named others, and then there was an unindicted person. And then 3 weeks later, that indictment was what's called the first superseding indictment, and it does name him. The indictment was identical, except the unnamed person now became Dirk Banks. And this is the really important part, Ak. The second indictment, what's called the first superseding indictment, only had one new fact. It had one new fact, and that was it alleged that there was a video by Dirk that celebrated and monetized this.
However, the case will become harder to prove Dirk's innocent with the addition of a new snitch, as the feds got OTF Vonnie to snitch. People realized his file was updated to say he was no longer in custody with the prison, meaning he was released on house arrest or fully released. And to prove that Vonnie did snitch, he messaged a friend about his plea deal options, and the friend leaked it to the public. As the Vonnie text wrote, "I'm trying to plea out to a 32, which is the base for M for hire. The max is 43, which is life. I'd get -2 points for a plea, -1 point for an early plea, and -2 points for no background. I'll have 27 points, which is 5 to 7 years. I can't go to trial. Don't want them to do me like them other guys." As he's referring to what might have happened to Jam at the end of his message, since no one has heard from him in months since he snitched. But weirdly, OTF Vonnie's father exposed his son for more crimes he committed after he realized he was snitching. Vonnie's dad claimed that Vonnie played a part in taking out King Von and that Dirk knew about it.
I'm gonna give you this. It's a back door, and I got all the pieces. That's all I'm gonna tell you. As Dirk asked Vonnie, "Is it open?" Vonnie told him it's off the hinges.
Wait. Are you talking about the Von? Like King Von?
Listen very carefully. When the payment was made to Little Tim, the next day or the same day, Dirk asked Vonnie, "Was it open?" This is what he asked him. Was it open? Those was the exact words. Was it open? He told him it's off the hinges.
Are you saying that Vonnie backdoor King Von? No way. That was right in
You
there.
heard what I just said. Guess what? You need motive first, right? I got bankers. I got bankers that'll testify that or will make a contract or make a statement to you and let you know that this is the amount of money he had, this is what he had, this is that another. You need motive first and foremost. I got text messages from the lawyer letting you know that who told on Von before he died.
Academics then questioned his father why Dirk would want to backdoor King Von, which makes a lot more sense when you remember Dirk and King Von were in a criminal case together. Suddenly, a couple months after Von passed, the charges were dropped and Dirk remained free. With Von passing, it essentially got Dirk a get out of jail free card.
Why would Dirk want Von?
Man, let me give you this. First of all, you didn't sign your rights over. You ain't in no 360 deal. First of all, you can't bring nobody into the business and they surpass you. How you bring me to the table when I pass you up? Don't nobody want their chief spot taken, do they?
That's an interesting
Dude was
thing.
a slack. He was signing the boys. He was Von wasn't no slack.
That's interesting. I did find out that Von didn't have any contractual ties to Dirk like that, which was interesting.
I mean, come on, man. He wasn't even signed to him. How's this his friend? He lied on Breakfast Club and said, "Hey, you think your man would be sitting here with $300,000 worth of jewelry on and he not have an attorney? He got a public defender."
But a tweet went viral that wondered why Dirk went on Instagram Live whenever he was connected to a passing, because he was on Instagram Live when King Von, Lil Pab, and FBG Duck all passed. This left Dirk fans believing he used Instagram Live as an alibi. If the feds ever questioned his involvement, he could just say he was on Instagram the whole time. But Vonnie's father wasn't done and revealed that his son allegedly orchestrated King Von and Lil Pab's passing.
Oh, no, he ain't take my advice. He ain't respond no back to me because this is on a tablet. He on a jail tablet when I sent that to him. He ain't respond nothing else to him. I told you he can't take my advice because they playing. They made themselves get caught. This is what come along with it. They wanted to get caught. You understand me?
So, that's what you meant by trenches paint. Okay.
What you mean trenches what?
Was it you that said that? With the whole narrative about Vonnie snitching with the text messages. Like, that's...
Yeah. I don't know who said that, but that was me.
Cause that was a focus. Everybody was trying to make it seem like that's what the text messages was about.
That's just saying what he finna cop out to and this, that, and other. And with me saying Von, some people like, damn, what he gonna tell on some words on Von?
I ain't gonna lie, I said that in my video. I'm intrigued to know what the Von name was for.
No, he ain't gonna tell him no Von. You gonna tell it just like you orchestrated Lil Pab. You orchestrated this, and guess who you work for?
But there's another snitch being introduced to the case, which is OTF Didi's younger brother, Ted. Rappers realized the name and reacted saying, "Please tell me this isn't real." A report revealed the introduction of Ted to the case, with it writing, "The new Ted body cam footage of him begging to snitch against Dirk and members has changed the case." Dirk's lawyers submitted paperwork for an extended time on their bond proposal. This raised the question of what Ted said to the feds, because in case you didn't know, OTF Didi is Dirk's main hitter, so it's likely that Didi's brother Ted heard about some of the street stuff that had been going on. The craziest part is he wasn't even supposed to be in the case, but he got arrested on a separate charge and is trying to use his street knowledge to get his own charges dropped.
Really? Dude had a... What about that? A man had a... with an extended clip. That's cool though, right?
He was transported to the police station, and before he even got inside, he was asking to snitch on the people he knows that did crimes.
Come on. Hey, stop it. Stop it.
I swear to God, I tell you, I will tell you, please, I swear, please.
He was placed into a waiting cell, where he continued to wait until an officer talked to him, and it's clear he was willing to tell anything if it meant he could get out.
Wait, hold on, you gotta relax for me, because I can't understand it. Relax. What's the number? 779, what you saying, man? We're gonna see what we can do for you, alright? We're gonna see what we can do for you. You gotta relax for me.
Relax, man. I'm gonna get a bus to prison. Relax.
Give me No, I'm saying, what are you talking about? I'm trying to get that.
However, with YNW Melly beating his witness tampering trial, his lawyers are securing him a release date.
February 2020, Melly was involved in a multi-inmate fight inside the day room of his area unit and was given a DR for his role in the fight. October 2020, placed on a room restriction for refusing to go back to his cell as he was trying to hide while on the phone.
And developing now, there's a new push to get rapper YNW Melly out of jail. He's currently awaiting retrial for two childhood friends, but a new lawsuit alleges he's being held in inhumane conditions.
The famous rap lawyer Drew Findling would announce his plan for Melly to be released from jail and when, beginning with the news of Melly will no longer go to trial for witness tampering after prosecutors dropped the charges. The Florida rapper's trial was originally scheduled to begin on January 21st, but during a hearing on the 20th, the prosecutors dropped the case. This was a huge win for Melly, and his lawyer Drew updated everybody for what's to come. As he wrote, "We now look forward to seeking Melly's release from custody, where he has been held under extraordinarily restrictive conditions for far too long based on premises the state has now abandoned. His release will allow him to fully and meaningfully participate in preparing his defense in the forthcoming proceedings, which we intend to litigate vigorously." But here's where it gets even better. Because his lawyers have filed a lawsuit against the sheriff's office for cruel treatment and are seeking immediate release from prison, Melly claims they haven't allowed him to see or speak with family in 3 years, which got the attention of rappers, with one reacting, "I like what I'm hearing right now. Shout out that boy Melly man, free him, he been in there too long." They believe Melly's treatment has been extremely unfair, as they claim he's lived in a freezing cold jail with barely edible food, all while not being able to speak with other people. Melly's mother Jamie did an interview about the situation, which came with the report. An interview from Melly's mother paints a disturbing picture of Melly's life in jail, making it sound like he won't last much longer. She goes into detail about how Melly hasn't even been able to use the jail phone or look at his own mail.
My son has not been convicted of anything, and even other inmates that have been convicted or anything, they have the right to use a telephone. They have a right to just to be allowed to write letters to their loved ones, to receive their mail. They hold his mail, they don't give it to him.
But she continued her interview saying she just wants better for Melly and that she feels extremely heartbroken because of what he's had to go through.
When you saw Melly's statement, just saying how he's been hurt, how he's scared for his life, as a mother, how did that make you feel?
It's heartbreaking. It made me feel completely helpless. Broward Sheriff's Office definitely needs to be investigated. I mean, they are making up their own rules. We've tried to go to court about this situation. The judge really doesn't have any jurisdiction when it comes to the jail, because we actually had a hearing about the mistreatment of him, and the jail they make their own rules. And I don't think that's fair, because I know that they need to answer to someone too.
But this stirred up a lot of attention in the media, which had Charleston White reacting and saying that Melly deserves the bad treatment because of the crimes he's accused of.
Even the YMW Melly, I'm so happy he in jail getting mistreated. Yeah, I'm so happy he in jail getting mistreated, homie. Homie, when you take a life, homie, you ain't got a right to complain about a motherfucking thing about being mistreated when you done chose to play somebody.
But even Boozy spoke on the situation, and he mainly sided with Melly's mother and felt bad for the stress she's had to go through.
Okay, so
then I met his mama while he was in.
Oh, okay.
I met his mom while he was in, and she real, bro. You know, she real.
She's stressed out. I heard she had a.
Yeah, she real, and I reached my hand out to him, cause I'm real. Yeah, I reached out to him, bro. I met his mom, and she a good woman, bro. And when I see them mamas like that, it remind me of what my mom was going through, bro.
But with the lawsuit working strong in Melly's favor, his lawyer thought of ways to swing the case in Melly's favor even more. Drew told the judge how the feds literally had Mariah as a clear witness to testify that Melly committed witness tampering, yet they still decided to drop the case. He made the point that they claimed Melly tampered for years, but as soon as they got their key witness for the case, they dropped it. Once Mariah got back into the United States, they arrested her immediately, but never used her in the witness tampering case.
Mariah Hamilton is spending her first day at the Broward County Jail.
She has no arrest record until now. U.S. Border Patrol agents arrested her at Miami International Airport Monday after she arrived on an international flight. Court records show Hamilton was ordered to testify in Demon's first trial in 2023.
With the feds now dropping the tampering charges, it got reactions from the industry. Melly's mother was happy about the news and posted, "God is good and he hears your prayers." To even 50 Cent, who wrote, "Drew Findling is a bad man with the way he beats all these cases. However, it's possible the state dropped the charges for a specific reason," which was revealed by saying, in the 5-page memo, the prosecutors dropped the witness tampering case against Melly to avoid jeopardizing key jail call evidence essential to proving consciousness of guilt in his Double M trial. The state moved to drop the case because suppression of jail calls remains unresolved, which risks acquittal and loss of critical evidence needed for the 2027 trial. Prosecutors charged Melly with witness tampering and street team-related offenses tied to efforts to keep key witness Mariah Hamilton from testifying in his Double M case. Financial records show Hamilton received more than $31,000 from Melly's management company and associates, plus assistance purchasing a Mercedes despite no reported income. Jail calls, surveillance video, and inmate kites show Melly directing a relay system through inmates James Howard and Terrence Mathis to pass messages outside jail after losing phone privileges. The new files continued reading. Recorded calls and messages instructed associates, including co-defendant Bortland, to keep Hamilton away from court using coded language and nicknames. But this was exposed by Juvie's father in an interview years ago.
There was this kind of crazy way that Melly was communicating. He wasn't allowed to use the phone, but he was passing notes to people, and then this person's calling this person and then that person.
Saying like to me, they going through extreme measures, try to cover up or convince people not to testify, like Mariah mom. They was using code words like Rihanna and A$AP Rocky's baby mom. And
it was a smart move by the prosecutors to drop the tampering charges, but it was also good for Melly because he has fewer charges to worry about. The prosecutors want to bring out all the information they can from Mariah and now Bortland against Melly in the Double M case without spoiling it in the tampering case, which is why they dropped the charges. In case you didn't know, Bortland's now flipped sides on Melly and took a deal with the feds. As it was reported, he took a plea deal, but he also agreed to a proffer, which means he's talking. The sentence is to accessory after the fact, and he will do 10 years plus 6 on probation minus any time served. With Melly having 2 people close to him turning against him, it's not looking good. Academics further explained the Bortland deal by saying, the judge says on both charges, Bortland pled no contest to that he has to provide a factual basis for him to accept the plea. He has to tell a real story of how he committed accessory to the crime, which means he will have to tell how the crime happened. It's a gunna plea, except with the proffer, he can't say, yes ma'am, he gotta sing like Frank.
I did tweet out saying people are upset. I said, this is a gunna plea. This is a gunna plea. This isn't a plea saying you have to tell on him, but this is a plea that you're going to have to provide all the details that they were missing to convict him. And that's why it's a gunna plea. Why do I say he signed a gunna plea? Because YNW Melly, and I watched the case, we covered it. YNW Melly's case is that, number one, you guys have not done a job to prove that this is actually they have proved, but prove that this is a homicide with this person being the offender. Also, the accessory after the fact plea confirms that Bortland, that's kind of like almost like a sub part of a conspiracy, except you weren't with the conspiracy at first. You came in after the fact. What that proved is that they came in. Oh my God, my dog's crying. What that proved is that Bortland worked with someone after he acknowledged that a took place in trying to cover it up. You hear what I just said? When pleading to an accessory to after the fact, you have to acknowledge that the happened and you assisted someone or in some way to cover the. Now, if Melly's statement is, how do we know that? And then secondly, how do we know who did it? Because they said it was a drive-by.
Once Bortland admits he was an accessory to the crime by trying to plant evidence and fake the scene to make it look like a drive-by happened, it will confirm that it wasn't actually a drive-by and that Melly was the only other person on scene who could have been responsible. A professional lawyer spoke his opinion on the case and basically confirmed that Bortland's deal is so good that he will be required to give up Melly in one way or another.
He will be flipping. He is going to be tell-all about anything he knows about the double case, and they will know if he's telling the truth or telling a lie when he gives his full quote-unquote confession as to what happened that evening. And that's what happens. A lot of times where guys are in the prison for 4 or 5 years awaiting trial and looking at a life sentence, and they're offered 10 years where they'll be home probably in another 3 years that he'll serve, he decides to flip and become a cheese eater. And that's what happens a lot of times on these cases. And I was expecting it to happen a lot sooner than it did. He held out for quite some time. But long story short is it looks like he's going to flip. And it makes the case on YNW Melly, depending on what he says, which I anticipate he'll say that YNW Melly is responsible.
Although both sides continued arguing about a potential bond release with the ongoing lawsuit still being sorted out, as the feds made their case to the judge that Melly is dangerous if they give him a bond. Not only is he a risk of running, but the prosecutors showed how they literally have evidence of him admitting to the crime in messaging.
The PC Gambino account asked him if he was okay, and his response was, "I did that," and placed a smiley face emoji.
And the next message from 10/26/2018 at 16:02 from Eastern Standard Time. The YNW Melly account says what?
After that, SHHHH.
They also showed the video of Melly just hours after Sack Chaser and Juvie passed, where he seemed like he was having the best day of his life and dancing in the parking lot.
Melly still turned regardless of what happened this early morning. He's still out here being very positive. Turned still. Hey! No, still turned, regardless of what happened. You already know.
Although cameras caught Melly in another situation, which is very bad for him. There's video footage of Melly getting into the back left seat of the Jeep. This is important because detectives who investigated the scene determined that the rounds that took out Sack Chaser and Juvie went from left to right in the car. It supports the claim that they originated from the back left seat, where Melly was positioned. The feds even had Juvie's mother, who was very familiar with the YNW team, confirm it was Melly who went in the back left seat.
Can you state your name, your full legal name for the jury?
I'm Leon Phillips.
Okay. And are you related to one of the kids in this case?
Yes, I am.
How so?
I'm his mother.
And who is that?
Christopher Thomas.
Ms. Phillips, did you see who entered into the occupants who entered into that gray Jeep?
Yes.
Do you recognize where your son entered that gray Jeep?
Yes.
Which seat, if you can identify for the jury?
He got in the back seat on the right-hand side.
Did you recognize the individual that got into the back seat on the left side, the rear driver's side?
Yes.
And who was that individual?
Janelle.
In order to throw some doubt into the prosecutor's case, Melly's team argued how those same detectives admitted they couldn't get an exactly precise reading of how the crime happened because they never recovered the firearm.
So the first thing is I didn't have a firearm, so I can't know which firearm I'm going to use in order to replicate any of my tests. So I can't make tests for this determination because I don't know what was used.
Okay.
But when the feds raided Bortland's house during the first Melly trial, they found something concerning.
Melly's co-defendant YNW Bortland was booked into a Miami jail Monday night and is being held behind bars on an out-of-county warrant. We just confirmed the warrant is out of Broward County for witness tampering. The warrant obtained by Law and Crime Network states as follows. On or about April 10, 2023, continuing through and including July 22, 2023, Cortland Henry, aka Bortland, along with others, did unlawfully and knowingly engage in misleading conduct toward another person with the intent to cause or induce them to withhold testimony. The warrant continues the alleged witness had been summoned by the legal process to the jury trial of Jamel Dimmons, aka YNW Melly. The dates in the warrant are important. Jury selection for Melly started in mid-April, and a judge declared a mistrial on July 22nd, the same day the warrant claims Bortland allegedly tampered with the witness.
It was announced that Bortland's house had certain notes which Bortland drew from one of the times he was in the courtroom. The photos showed drawings that Bortland made of where jurors were sitting in the courtroom, with a description of what each one looked like. This led prosecutors to believe that Bortland and Melly had a plan to tamper with the jurors to find Melly not guilty.
To keep it real, this is sloppy. Bortland, how the f you gonna have the notebook of the jurors in your house? Holy sh! Like, come the f on! It's like doing a and having the surveillance tape in your DVD player or something like that. You know what I mean? Like, come on, bro! Like they raid your crib and the surveillance footage of the is in your DVD player. They be like, oh, okay, thank you, brother. This can't be at your crib.
However, Bortland being on the Fed's side is a major issue for Melly. Bortland will be able to give answers to every question the Feds have. One major question they want to know is why did Fredo Bang pick up Melly on that night on the side of the road?
And Chris Thomas are. So what you're also going to find out
is while Mr. Devins is out there on the side of the road, 4 in the morning, 4:42 specifically, he sends a drop pin, digital homing beacon, to his current location to one of his friends, Frederick Givens. Frederick Givens is also involved in the music industry, and he asked to be picked up. Frederick Givens then, about 11 minutes later, is sent another drop pin where Mr. Devins has moved a couple of meters. What you're going to find out as well, though, is these digital leashes, they have more than just phone calls.
But the feds will be replacing the tampering charges with the aggravating factor that Melly did the crime in furtherance of a street team, as they claim this photo of Melly with Young Thug confirms he was in the red street team.
Same thing, the use of the slap term, 5-point star, snake. He's saying he's YSL, he's hanging with him. And he puts up his YNW for life hashtag on it with Mr. Devins has the big B hand signs displayed.
Right, and see with individuals again, I'm assuming that's also Young Thug. That's also unknown.
Yes.
Also important to your investigation, correct?
Yes.
Also publicly available for anyone to see and capture.
Surprisingly, Melly didn't care if the feds used it in the case, but Melly's lawyers obviously didn't want it in the case because they know how much worse it could be for Melly if he's found guilty. This got the news to report that Melly and his team were arguing in the courtroom and that Melly went against his legal team's advice. Cameras captured the moment, and it had Melly angry with his lawyers.
Yes, sir. Against our advice, our client must proceed.
People in the court heard that Melly was saying, "I don't care, I'm not in a team." They can't prove that.
I'm aware that 924-071 call for an automatic stay while
they were aggravators. They go to membership in a gang. There are things that the jury would have to find before going into penalty.
Not aggravator, that's the definitely aggravator, that's the gang enhancement itself, Your Honor. That was charged. He was charged in committing the murder for the further of the gang, which is an aggravator in terms of the guilt.
Something that they would have to find by way of an interrogatory.
Yes.
But they might also bring in a former O Block member who claimed that Melly contacted King Von for advice on how to deal with people. In case you didn't know, the two of them used to be friends before King Von passed and Melly was arrested. If you know King Von and his criminal history, it makes sense why Melly was asking him for advice for the situation.
Did Von really tell you that Melly told him that he was two friends?
He ain't come out and say, like, we got into an argument. And so, you know, if you know, when people could say something without saying it. And so he told me, like, once I posted what I posted, Von was mad at me. Bro, why you put up there, bro? What the bam? I'm like, you sitting up here, like, you know the love we got. You do this for us, but you gonna trust that his two friends? And he said, them was trying to extort him. And so I'm like, if they was trying to extort him, then why are you still around them?
While some rappers get let out of jail, some go in, just like Lil Baby, who is set to be arrested in the following days for a crime he just committed.
This morning, we have new details in the that hurt 49ers defensive end Keon White. It happened early yesterday morning at a nightclub in San Francisco's Mission District. White was hosting a Super Bowl party at Delia Lounge on Mission Street. At some point, White got into an argument involving rapper Lil Baby.
When Lil Baby declined a boxing match versus DJ Academics, millions online called him a fake gangster. This was until Super Bowl night, where Baby wanted to prove everyone wrong. The news wrote, Lil Baby is accused of getting into a dispute with San Francisco 49ers player Keon White, who was hit a short time later. Investigators would then write the details of, on Monday, February 9th, Bay Area news outlet The San Francisco Standard reported on the incident, which occurred during a Super Bowl after party at Dahlia nightclub. A witness tells police Baby and his entourage tried to enter White's private section, which resulted in an argument between Baby and White. The witness left the level of the club to notify management when they heard 2 rounds go off and returned to find White hit in the leg.
Window is like right by my bed, and so I saw lights. Like, I think that's why I woke up at first. I think I kind of knew that it wasn't like the most safe place, but honestly, I mean, like, it kind of seems par for the course. Like, I'm not like entirely like, how could this happen here?
This would end up getting viral reactions online saying Lil Baby really just popped out on some gangster stuff and hit an NFL player to prove he's still gangster, because Baby lost all fan support after avoiding a boxing match versus DJ Academics.
Sold 34,000 the first week. How the you want 40 million, man? This is delusional, man. Atlanta looking crazy right now, man. Full pocket full of hoes. This is crazy. How you ducking a fade with me? They want 40 million. The is acting like this is Jake. This acting like this is Pacquiao and Floyd Mayweather fighting. Cause somebody yo, have you seen this? Yo, this can't be serious, bro. Bro, I wouldn't be even asking for that. And low key, yo, I'm gonna keep it a beam. You know, I said whatever he get. I thought he was gonna be realistic. I thought Lil Baby is on some like he's gangster. So I'm like, yo, I bet. What's up? Let's like, cause I'm telling you, he's like a scrawny. I'm like, I bet. Whatever he get, just give me half. Ain't you a nigga? Y'all should be fighting for fun. You squabble up just cuz. I'm the one that everybody says probably never had a fight. Okay, you're my first fight. You get to knock me out for all this that I taught before and will continue to talk till we squabble.
Which is interesting because in Baby's track titled Top Priority, he raps, "Academics guys think they can't get touched." But here's where it gets concerning. Just days prior to the NFL incident, it was announced the feds have been investigating Baby, building a case of evidence against him. This new beef with DJ Academics will likely spark the first set of arrests in the 4PF camp, making its way to Baby. But now it's likely this will be escalated due to the 4PF camp being on a crime spree. Online investigators found all the current police files on 4PF and Baby, beginning with Academics confirmed he got slapped by Baby's cameraman K Rich in Miami. Here's a picture of Academics' right-hand man with the police after the situation, showing the altercation was big enough to the point police arrived at the scene. But later on that night, K Rich would brag about getting Academics on live.
So boom, ain't nothing happened to him. He said something, bro, I swear to God, right hand of God. I smacked the shit, I smacked the right hand of God, bro. I smacked. You smacked Academics? Yes, and then listen, after I smacked him, listen.
Yo, Lil Baby, eat a. I'm not even gonna address it, Lil Baby. You eat a, because I don't know this, and I'm gonna tell you why I'm getting that Lil Baby, because I've been waiting for this. I can't take it out on a kid I don't know. I'm up tens of millions of dollars. I'm taking it out on this boss. Yo, Lil Baby, if this is what you believe or he believe, both y'all eat a. Whatever y'all think, that's what it is. Both y'all.
With some fans asking what this has to do with Baby, Academics would expose why, beginning with the tweet. DJ Academics claims Baby's camp paid him $30,000 to chill on album criticism, then allegedly backdoored him anyway by sending K Rich to swing on him.
The Lil Baby got to drop his new album, and I'm gonna start really getting on business. Yo, Lil Baby, you and your team paid me $30,000 to keep quiet about your motherfucking album. And I sat there and I realized, I said, well, if you paid me $30,000, it ain't no way you sent a come swing on me. Why would you do that? Don't make no sense. $30,000 you could pay for a hit. Why the would you send to come swing on me for pennies and to clean your balls in your drawers and then pay me $30,000? I got the receipts posted just. Why would you pay me afterwards? Cause y'all whole demeanor was an act. You a wave, and I said I'll fall back. I said I can't lie to, but I'll fall back, and y'all paid me to do it. Y'all paid me.
But now, since Lil Baby wants to play games with Academics, he said they're going to have to pay him $300,000 to not speak about Baby's next album.
Yo, Baby, you gonna have to pay me to get off your for this next time. Y'all pay me 30 bands already. The price is now 300 bands. Straight up. The price done went up 300 bands. You have this who you sent. Yo, Lil Baby, stop the bullshit. You sent this to go do this bullshit. When I called you up, you acted like, oh, wait, what happened about? Yo, do you know this K Rich? I call everybody in Atlanta. You know what they say? But that's his assistant. That's his Wait, he act like you don't know him? Yo, I talked to him. He say, Lord, paid me for your album tonight. Yo, I'm on your forever. Remember that. So listen, I'm only saying this because I think this little K Rich thing, I'm going to go back and forth with him. Let me tell you this, I'm gonna cost your boss $1 million. I did this to the best of them, and I'm gonna do it to him.
But what's most interesting about Academics speaking on it, he said that K Rich was claiming 4PF while jumping him, which is getting Lil Baby nervous because he supposedly closed 4PF.
And baby, you gotta respond to it. I'm gonna make this loud. You gotta respond to this. You're gonna either be pussy or you're gonna stand on it and say, I did backdoor that. You thought we were cool? When I asked you in the morning, you know what you said? So the first thing I said, yo, bro, you know what? came up to me, he said some 4PF. You know the first thing you said? Yo, act, chill, act, man, you on that police? You scared of this 4PF? Bet. Who? I say, yo, nah, baby, like this was. So he's like, act, what? You acting dumb.
This will make it easier for police to raid 4PF members due to them clearly being dangerous, and it'll only get worse for Lil Baby. We've already seen the Atlanta court system targeting Lil Baby too when it was announced. Investigators on the stand. We are listening to wiretap calls. Someone mentioned that Baby had tickets on some people's heads.
Like, come on, bro, you know what's finna go on. Like, how the hell you can, you know what I'm saying? They ain't even like that, man. Them got tickets on a lot of these folks, I'm telling you.
We just heard somebody say these folks got tickets on these people. We know what's going on. First of all, who was that said that about the tickets?
Unc, the unidentified male that was being referred to as Unc.
And he's speaking with Mr. Sanders?
Correct.
And what, in your experience, do you know what tickets are?
A price on somebody's head.
What do you mean by what do you mean on somebody's head? What is that?
Like a bounty.
Okay. To have them arrested? And who were they referring to in that portion of the call?
They were saying that they had heard that Dominique Jones had tickets on a lot of people's heads.
Dominique Jones had wanted to have people harmed.
Correct.
All right, moving on.
They're claiming Lil Baby committed M for hire, which is the same thing that Lil Durk is charged with. But academics already claimed the feds are scoping out Lil Baby and will make a move on him once they can.
So there's this journalist. He's out of Atlanta. Well-reputed journalist. His name is George Cheedy. Like, he was the person who was very accurate on predicting that YSL was going to get indicted in the RICO. He's an Atlanta journalist, certified. He's really good. He's came out and he said that the Atlanta Public Defenders Council, like the office, they're basically their specialized unit for Georgia's Public Defender's Office. The one the unit that specializes on gang cases says the office is actively preparing for a racketeering indictment on the 4PF and OMF case. Now I don't know what OMF is, and that he expects Lil Baby to be indicted.
This got many people upset that Baby is being targeted, but Young Thug came to his defense and called out the investigator from the courtroom, saying biggest liar in the DA office, as he exposed Marissa the detective for what she looks like and claimed she's lying on Lil Baby. But academics gave us more information about why she wants to lock him up.
What Young Thug did to have and this is how you know this 4PF is real. Young Thug posted the woman. This is Marissa Vivierdo. He said biggest liar in the DA office. He posted her, okay? And then he also reposted, all my homies hate Vivierdo. Now, this is someone who is a officer of the law. This is someone who is a government official. When you do that and you're under probation, the government is gonna be like, oh, you sending a smoke signal that people should hurt this woman? That's why they're doing a motion to revoke his shit. Why did he do this? Because she's testifying in the OMF case, and she's basically saying, yo, OMF and 4PF, Lil Baby and them, they're beefing and is dying, and indictment's finna come down.
But the biggest mistake was made when Lil Baby said he ended 4PF. Not only did K Rich prove that 4PF didn't really end because of him saying it when academics was jumped, but Lil Baby did this while the feds were focused on him, which will only make him look guiltier. Reports wrote that he ended the record label to try avoiding it being labeled as a street team.
First 4 Pockets 4 had to come to an end. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm. When you say of course, I mean, why you say of course?
Because it's all shit that be going on. And I had to start learning that, like, other people's actions I could be held accountable for.
Right.
I ain't know all that at first. You know what I'm saying? I never would have went that route, but I ain't know. You know what I'm saying? Now that I know, I'd be a fool to just keep the same thing going. They trying to make something out of something that it ain't. Right. Like, if I got any kind of control of, hey, we're gonna switch that whole thing up. It ain't even just about the police. No, it's just period. You know what I'm saying? Like, I never was supposed to make my label something that I talk about.
However, there's another incident that the feds were claiming was Lil Baby's fault, but all he did was record a music video. As the police wrote a statement saying, the Atlanta Police Department is calling out Baby, saying his actions led to the passing of 2 young individuals last summer. During a press conference, the Atlanta PD announced 7 arrests had been made in connection to the passing of Jacody Davis and Lamont Freeman. Major Ralph stated the incidents were part of a street incident that started with Baby filming a music video last May, where 3 people were injured. The officer officer clearly stated they will work relentlessly to hold those accountable, referring to Lil Baby.
The investigation aspect of this, Lamont Freeman was allowed to be a 13-year-old for 27 minutes before gang violence ultimately took his life. Gang violence was orchestrated by adults in our city. And cowardly acts of an Atlanta-based rapper that decided to go over into a rival gang stronghold and shoot a music video in a place that he knew he should not have been. And in the subsequent days, we saw and ultimately the deaths of 2 children as a result of his cowardly actions. And you know who you are. And I tell you that this team will work relentlessly to hold you and the persons that you are affiliated with responsible for those actions.
The craziest part is a lady witnessed Lil Baby recording his music video and took a video of him to promote her taco shop. According to the police, that Facebook video is the only reason why Baby's ops knew he was there and decided to pull up.
Where y'all at? We over here kicking in. We got Lil Baby shooting a video around here. You know how we do it at Slapping Taco. Baby, there he go, there he go. Y'all see him? He came to get him some tacos, baby. Y'all better pull up, cause you already know how we doing this Slapping Tacos, baby.
It's crazy that the feds are blaming Lil Baby for the crime when all he was doing was his job. He didn't commit any crime, which goes to show that the feds are trying their best to target him, although he might be getting targeted for a specific reason. The only person who hates Young Thug and Lil Baby the most right now is Gunna, and Young Thug even said in an interview that he didn't know where their relationship stood with Gunna anymore.
I just like to help people, you know.
One of those artists was Gunna. You guys did a ton of songs together.
Yeah.
Very successful on your label.
Yeah.
He was arrested about the same time as you. I think a lot of people wonder what that relationship is like now.
Yeah. I know everybody wondering that.
What's it like?
I don't know.
But a viral tweet wrote, "Once y'all learn the entire effects of Gunna snitching in the YSL trial, then you'll realize why Thug and Baby will never be cool with him again. Because when you look at the timeline, it was very convenient that Gunna was released on his plea deal, and suddenly, a month later, Lil Baby was arrested. With it reported, Baby was arrested Monday night for carrying a concealed firearm without a permit and was sent to the Clark County Detention Center, where he was being held on $5,000 bail."
I need 20 bands, call the number for me. Hey, security, the black guy, call the number for me. They locking me up for a gun, but I got license. Security, I give you 200 bands a year. I swear to God, security. Security, I give you 200 bands a year. You don't make 200 bands here. Hey, lady, my check leave at 9:10. Nah, check me good. I gotta my nuts. Check me good. You on the camera? I gotta my nuts. Check me good. I gotta. Alright, y'all let me in that car, shoot myself dead, y'all fired.
But it gets even deeper than Gunna's snitching, because academics said how the feds had 4 PF on their list of teams they wanted to give RICO charges to.
I've heard 2 of them. Like, I've heard the 2 of them. They're like, yo, these are going first, then these are going first. I've heard the names. And I don't know if I should say it. Again, I got nothing to do with no investigation for nothing, whatever, but these are top rappers. Well, one's a top rapper. The other one, matter of fact, I'll do the segment without saying the name. I'll just say this. I believe you know who the obvious name is. They're in Atlanta. They go by three letters. They've been popping. One of the top, I would say, 3 rappers in the game.
Academics speculates that Lil Baby's recent arrests are a warning for a much bigger charge coming his way.
I'm going to tell you some things that you're going to have to take my word or don't believe it. It's fine. I don't care either or. When Fonnie Willis started targeting YSL, Fonnie Willis had a bunch of people to target. She wanted Thug. She got YFN. So she got YSL, YFN. Eventually, they were going to get to 4PF. That's one of the reasons they changed their names, by the way. Except, from what I heard, the feds told them, it's okay. We got it. So the feds told him, like, it's okay if you dismiss the charge. So they didn't go that hard with trying to get Dirk, especially after Vaughn died. They dropped that case. They dropped it, but the feds has realized we gonna get Dirk eventually. You doing the math? You see why Lil Baby is moving the way he been? Because Lil Baby hasn't been on Fed watch. He's been on County State Watch.
Which makes sense. They want to target Lil Baby so badly because they weren't able to successfully sentence Young Thug for the crimes, and it angered the district attorney. Although another arrest of Lil Baby came just after he got this ticket for tinted windows.
Huh? Man, you know why I pull you open up these windows? They tinted. You can't see nothing out.
I'm a celebrity, man. Nobody can't see me. Give me my ticket. Let me ride.
I don't know what celebrity you are.
It don't matter. They give me my ticket. Let me ride. I can't have nobody seeing me right here. I'm gonna let my window up.
Oh yeah, you good, but you can't have that tinted window, man.
Alright, they give me the ticket. Have a good day, man.
Now, who are you? You say you
My name Lil Baby.
Okay, I just need you to sign right here, okay?
You got a pen? 827. You don't be want to have these. You gotta have tickets, man. Let these folks crazy. I take a ticket, then somebody follow me home.
Put a 32.
Huh?
You can put a 32. If you got a medical exception, you can get the 10.
After this stop, another officer pulled over Lil Baby and arrested him. Luckily, Baby contacted his lawyers and he was released that night. However, Young and Ace's release date will be complicated due to new evidence found against him in the Fulio trial.
Jacksonville rapper Young and Ace arrested by Jacksonville Beach police around midnight.
So Young and Ace has long been known in Jacksonville. We have people that are always watching them.
Yeah, back behind.
The passing of Julio Fulio's case files were updated today, revealing new evidence against Young and Ace. It reads, Jacksonville rapper Young and Ace to be arrested in 2026. The sheriff announced several crimes in the area are due to Young and Ace and his team, ATK. Expect a possible RICO. This had Young and Ace being exposed in the trial of Alicia Andrews. As it wrote, witness who partied with Fulio the night of his passing reveals she dated Young and Ace's brother, Trevon Bullard. Fans believe testimony will lead to ATK RICO.
Some point when you were younger, did you date someone who was associated with a rapper by the name of Young and Ace?
Yeah.
What is Young and Ace's real name?
Keontae.
Is that Keontae Bullard?
Mm-hmm.
And who were you dating that was related to Mr. Bullard?
Trayvon.
How is Trayvon Bullard related to Keontae Bullard?
They're brothers.
When did you date him?
In 2018.
And did something happen to him?
Yeah, he passed away.
When did he pass away?
June 5th, 2018.
And how did he pass away? Was that a part of this rivalry?
I'm assuming.
This had people reacting to the case saying, this Julio Fulio trial is crazy. The feds are watching. Whoever Young and Ace is, they drafting up the RICO. They claim it stands for Ace Top Hitting. With Young and Ace knowing the feds were after him, he began getting mad when venues and the feds started shutting down his shows as he was forced into canceling, which shows the feds are likely trying to limit Ace's income before a RICO case.
Jacksonville police and I don't know how they be doing it, but they always call around and cancel my shows. What's up with y'all? What's going on? Why y'all want to cancel my show? I don't even live there in Jacksonville. Why y'all want to cancel my show? Why y'all trying to my money? Yeah, man, y'all trying to my life. Cause y'all worry about what I got going on. I ain't with y'all. Y'all canceled all my shows, but I just had a show in Temple. Y'all got my show canceled in Tampa. I had a show in Virginia. I called, got my show canceled up. I had a show in Gainesville. Y'all canceled my show in Gainesville before. Daytona. You feel me? Like, what's really going on?
They even publicly called him out at a press conference, with it reporting, Jacksonville Sheriff TK Waters sends a PSA to Young and Ace and his crew after Julio Fulio's hitters were caught.
So Young and Ace has long been known in Jacksonville. We are consistently monitoring those groups. We have people that are always watching them. I won't speak to the chief's investigation. That's up to TPD. We don't have an investigation on him right now, but he can't move around in Jacksonville without us knowing about it. And that's for the betterment of our community.
This even had the prosecutors confirming in court that Young and Ace is in ATK.
So sorry, not the meaning of ATK,
but that Young and Ace is a part of ATK. Did you say whether you know that?
Yeah.
Okay. ATK and 6 Block, do those two groups get along?
No.
Charles Jones, just for the jury, is a part of 6 Block, is that correct?
Yeah.
And Young and Ace is a part of ATK, is that correct?
Yeah.
And to your knowledge, Alicia Andrews is not a part of either of those groups, correct?
I don't know. I don't know her.
All right.
Miss Albritton, going back to these drill rap videos, in particular the song of Charles Jones about your boyfriend, is that When I See You? Is that the song that you're talking about?
I guess, yeah.
Okay. And that's one of the music or drill rap videos that you don't like, is that correct?
I don't care for them.
However, during trial, it was revealed that Young and Ace sent a meme to a suspect's phone, which makes fun of Julio Fulio at the time he passed, proving Ace had full knowledge of what was going down.
The state presented a picture from Gathrigh's cell phone taken one day after the showing a bottle of Don Julio. The detective testified that, based on knowledge, this represents an insult to the rapper Julio Fulio.
Although Young and Ace began getting very worried about getting charges against him personally for being connected to the ATK team, so he tweeted, "Ain't no such thing as ATK anymore. That stuff is gone and over with," which he backed up with a video on Instagram.
I say no more ATK, it ain't no more. What you talking about? Niggas don't do shit. Niggas don't do shit. You tripping. Everybody always got shit to say. These niggas. When the time for the lawyers to be paid, where the niggas be at? Got all this shit to say. Where the niggas be at though? Where the niggas be? Niggas need to get buried. When the time to spend that money, where the niggas be? Niggas always got shit to say, but don't be on shit, man. They don't get no feet wet or nothing, man. These niggas be talking, man. What's wrong with these niggas, man? Talking about uncomfortable. Don't talk like me. Don't get the man. When I say no more ATK, ain't no more.
Shortly after Fulio passed, he appeared on an interview with DJ Academics, and he straight up asked Ace if he was responsible for what happened to Fulio, and he laughed.
I mean, some people feel like you were behind that.
I'm sure, but people feel like I'm behind a lot, but I'm not. I'm not behind. I'm working. I'm grinding every day. I'm grinding. I got a family. I'm working. I'm grinding. I'm trying to be big. I'm trying to be big.
The police really believe Ace is guilty because not only did they call him out by name, but another cop talks about the team here.
Furthermore, it was found that the shooters are members of or affiliated with rival gangs of Jones that go by ATK and 1200. Jones was part of the 6 Block. Detectives believe that the ATK and the 1200 worked together to target Jones as part of an ongoing feud in Jacksonville.
Ace has been keeping a trail of evidence against him based off how involved he is with the team. Almost everyone believes he played at least some sort of part based on how often he interacted with the people who did the crime. Another street member was claiming on video that Young and Ace put up $10,000 to deal with Fulio around the same time he passed.
Hey, on everything I love, bro. On the day homies, bro, I put it on everything on my soul, on my kids. I'm the one that smacked Julio Fulio that night when he got at his birthday celebration, bro. You feel me? I ain't gonna show my face and give my identity away or nothing like that, but you know, I did that, you feel me? It was money on his head, you feel me? I rock with Ace and them boys, you feel me? ATK, you feel me? I be in Jacksonville heavy, you feel me? If you know, you know. But yeah, you feel me? I did that, you feel me? I handled that, cause, you know, Ace had that money on his head, you know, Ace had them put that 10K up, told me to slide, told me to cause you know he got tired of that nigga running his mouth playing all the time, you feel me? So what had to be done, you feel what I'm saying? So I just handled it, you feel me? It was what it is, bro.
However, the police have officially released a breakdown of how the crime went down and how Julio Fulio was taken out. They start out by saying on the morning of June 23rd, 2024, Julio Fulio was taken out by an ambush in Tampa, Florida. The weekend was supposed to be a birthday party celebration for Julio, but it quickly turned into the worst night imaginable. Fulio rented out an Airbnb for the weekend to host the party. He really hyped up the party by posting it to his Instagram account, saying that he was throwing a party and for everyone everyone to message him for the address.
Hey, the pool party start today at 5, 6 o'clock. If you already got the address, pull up, man. You got the address, pull up. If you need the address, DM me right now. The pool party start at 5, 6 o'clock. DM me for the address or DM Fulio booking ESPN. I'm gonna put it right here. We just got here, bruh. You got to add it. You got to add it, man. Push up. We just got to this bit. Tampa, Florida, man. You already got to add it to the pool party. Push up at 5:30, man. Push up at 5:30, man. We finna get everything right. Push up at 5:30, 6 o'clock, man. It's up.
However, the night began to take a turn when Fulio and his friends got the party shut down after 2 hours. Cops were called for noise complaints, and they contacted the landlord of the home, who eventually kicked Fulio's party out of the house. This wasn't enough partying for Julio. He wanted to continue the night, so he made a backup plan to go to a nearby club. The only issue was he posted the advertisement and location of the spot on his Instagram for everyone to see. With the location being as clear as ever to where Julio was going, his ops started sharing the information and location back and forth to set him up. Julio showed exactly where he was going on Instagram by claiming he was going to the upstairs lounge, which, based off the information he gave out, you knew exactly where he was for the night.
We came deep for my birthday, man. Everybody coming up the stairs. No cap, man. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? We deep as 20 deep, lit everywhere we go.
This gave the ops plenty of time to figure out a plan together, and it only took 30 minutes before they had 2 members sitting outside waiting for Julio to leave the club. Once it got much later and they were finally done partying, they had to figure out a new place to stay for the night. His manager eventually found a Holiday Inn hotel a few minutes down the road, and they began heading over. Once they arrived to the hotel, his manager goes in to figure out the hotel room situation for everybody. Meanwhile, the rest of them are sitting in the parking lot. It was within a few minutes that the ops began to pull up. One car pulled in from the main entrance, blocking the exit, and a group of 3 men came in from the side parking lot on foot.
At 4:38, 3 exit a vehicle and walked in the direction of the hotel. They murdered Jones with a hand and 2. This barrage of fire also struck 3 additional victims who miraculously survived this incident. Let's look at this video. This is at the hotel, and you can see the shooters are getting in position for their planned out.
Once they pulled up, the entire crime was done in a couple minutes before the ops fled the scene. But the saddest part was Fulio's cousin's testimony in trial. The news wrote Fulio's cousin, who was in the car with him when it happened, couldn't stop his tears while describing his final moments.
Okay. So you fell asleep after that, after he came back to the car, or you started dozing?
Yes.
Can you just tell the jurors what you saw inside of the car at that point? You said you saw Fulio laid out?
Yeah, first thing I saw Fulio laid out. I thought it was a car accident until I looked up, saw the booze, and I saw Jacob yelling.
Okay, so you thought it was a car accident, and then you looked up, saw the balls, and you saw Zay. Is that Xavier Edwards?
Yes.
You saw him covered in.
Yes.
Okay, so he wanted you to look at his head because he thought he had been hit, and then when you tried to do that, you saw the in your arm?
Yes.
Where were you?
Like on my.
Okay.
Close to my shoulder.
Do you still have a scar from that? Okay. Do you recognize that as Charles Jones' black Charger?
Yes.
Okay. You okay?
I'm good.
You sure?
Yes.
Do you recognize the photograph?
Yes.
It was clear that they had planned to take out Fulio for some time and were just waiting for the opportunity. Within 30 minutes of the crime, it was reported that Young and Ace dropped a diss track titled Do It, which featured many disses at Julio Fulio. Young and Ace's right-hand man even shared an old tweet from King Von which read, "Game over, we won, stupid." To make it even clearer that the Ace song was directed at Fulio, he purposefully remixed the lyrics that Fulio sang in a different song. Because in Fulio's song, he rapped the lyrics, went out to eat on his birthday, 4 hit, 3 passed in the worst way, he kept dissing on me, now we hitting 23. Young and Ace flipped the lyrics and rapped 4 in the car and 1 of them gone, 3 got hit. What's crazy is Ace's mother seems to encourage the crime that happens in Jacksonville because they were on a live stream together and she was laughing about what happened to Fulio.
These are my best friends.
Hey, chat, y'all know what's going on though. Y'all stop playing with us, Talib. You told me for churches, but you know what the fuck going on, boy, for get on your boy.
And we want to get that down. Foolio, Ludio, whatever shit.
Chill.
But there's reports that people even targeted Julio Fulio's mother at the same time. Fulio's mom says she was targeted 8 times and allegedly named Young and Ace as the culprit. And academics asked Ace about this situation.
So now she's a mother. She's not involved. She was a nurse or whatever the case is. This is what I hear. She got 8 times. The police showed up and asked her, "Hey, ma'am, who shot you?" Guess who she allegedly said she shot her? Allegedly, she said, "I got shot by Young and Ace." Young and Ace was on some type of supervised release at the time. Police go, I guess his probation officer say, "Yo, you got to come in now," and they're about to lock up Young and Ace for shooting Fulio's mom.
But detectives noticed there was something wrong about the way that Fulio was posting his location constantly. They dug up an old interview of Julio Fulio, where he said that his team and Ace's team were going to create a song together in hopes of stopping the crime against each other. But many wonder if that was just to catch Julio Fulio off guard.
No record. Y'all probably ain't noticed. Even though I said what I said, but bro, me and J.Dot Breeze supposed to be doing a Stop the Violence song. We probably gonna get that shit in motion. And just get that shit out the way for the kids, for the youth and shit. And yeah, we gotta make this look better, man.
You and J.Dot Breezy have a Stop the Violence record coming.
Yeah, that shit, it's talked about. I DM'd about it. My big cousin wrote about it too. He said he with it, I'm with it. But basically right now we trying to find a beat.
Ace's team did it because they only wanted to set up Fulio. They didn't want to stop the crime because there was too much history between them. They've been going after each other for years, and back in 2022, Ace's friend, ATK Mitch, passed. This was likely the motivation for going after Julio Fulio, as he got pulled over by the police where they questioned him about Mitch, but he acted like he knew nothing.
All right, so I ain't want to bring it up. I know you're gonna be upset. Mitch, there's some texts I want to talk to you real quick about what happened to Mitch.
How long that's gonna take?
Not that long, depends on you. They just gonna ask what you know about what happened.
He was even taken into the police station where they interrogated him, but Fulio didn't want to say nothing.
He used to come to my mama's house. I used to stay on the corner. He would come over there, show his, you know what I'm saying, support.
What type of work do you do? What type
I'm an artist. That's
You're an artist. Okay. As far as Mitch go, what are you hearing?
Nah, really. I was in Miami when I heard the news, you know what I'm saying? I was down making music, and I saw posting on Instagram, Mitch, the whole Jacksonville, Mitch.
The detectives wanted to find out who Fulio was to Mitch, how they knew each other, and whether or not Julio had the motivation to take him out.
All right, the reason why I'm here, I am lead on your friend's case.
Ooh.
You didn't have a friend that recently got killed?
A lot of friends that,
recently? Mitch?
Oh, yeah.
So I'm lead on that. I don't know how close you guys were. Can you kind of give me just run down on y'all relationship when y'all met? How long y'all been partners or whatever?
Despite Julio keeping quiet, the detectives tried fishing for any information they could get.
Guys, if you may know or hear something, that'd be helpful as well. Because if you know his mom, you can sit up there and call his mom, then I'm pretty sure you would want her to have some answers as well.
My little brother, I don't know who did. I don't know. I ain't here. That's what I'm saying. You'll never know. You know what I'm saying? I don't know. No, I just heard it. They say, "Little brother." I was like, you know what I'm saying? I'm in Miami at the time, though.
You ain't tired of that, man?
Yeah, but I'm known to this.
This angered the detectives, but they asked if Fulio thinks more crime happens around him because of the stuff he raps about, as he constantly rapped about the real crime happening in Jacksonville.
Do you think that your music or your ways or the way you conduct yourself through your music had anything to do with him?
Nah, because even before I was rapping, it was, you get what I'm saying? Like, you can't just say it's my music, that's why somebody, you get what I'm saying?
Okay, do you think it influenced someone or triggered someone, like the way y'all going back and forth with it? Do you feel that way?
Nah, a song can't make no do nothing, bro.
But in the current day, when Ace realized the feds are watching his every move, he hopped on Instagram and tried to speak about Julio Fulio in a positive light. But you can tell he just wasn't serious at all, and it comes off like he's mocking him.
What you think about Fulio thing, cuz? That's sad. Twin, I ain't gonna lie, bro. Y'all boys in the street, y'all didn't leave the streets alone, twin. I'll condone this that. But y'all just gotta stay. Y'all gotta. It's so funny, cause me, bro, like we cool, like we was cool and shit. You feel me? Me and him, like we cool. I was just so funny. I was just talking to them. I'm like, bro, you gotta stop the way, bro. You know, love y'all here. Like, stop the way, bro. Like, you know, I Put your wrist out of the way.
The police believe that Young and Ace paid the 5 hitmen who were on the scene when they took out Fulio. The current people legally responsible for the case are Alicia, Isaiah, Sean, Rashad, and Davion. But Ace's name could be involved if any one of them take a plea deal and snitch on him. But Academics in his interview with Ace was straight up with him by saying that he's probably next to be dealt with.
Whack 100 recently spoke about you and he says, "You're next."
Why would you say that, bro? Why would you wish that for me?
Well, I don't know if he was wishing that. I think he's just thinking about, like, you know, in terms of, you know, people want to get the target, like the high profile target, and if Fulio is out the way, now they're like, well, the only way to make another thing is you.
In case you didn't know, Ace was targeted by Fulio's team once in the past, which resulted in his brother passing, but Ace made it. With Fulio now gone, you'd think his team is looking for some revenge still and could be planning a hit.
Try to come for him. I try to hold RJ. Trying to hold him. I'm trying to RJ open the door. I open the door. I'm pushing him out. I'm like, I got you, bro. I got you. He had grab a shirt. I'm like, I can't move. He tell me he can't move. I jump out the car. Cope open the door. Cope said, call everyone. Just come on.
What's interesting is the sheriff in Jacksonville believes that the drill music they make is a huge motivation into all the crime that's been happening in the streets. They probably look at the way King Von was able to commit crimes and turn that into a music career where he got extremely rich from it. But obviously that didn't end well for Von either.
The drill rappers.
You have drill down here.
Oh yeah.
I thought that was a Chicago thing.
No, man, it's down here too, man. And the thing about it is we like to run them out of town. Like, there's a couple of them that they know they can't live here anymore. There was a particular song, what's Vanessa Carlton? What's the name of that song? It's real catchy, everybody likes it. Yeah, 1,000 Miles. They sampled her song, and then they made a song, a rap to it, and they were talking about people that actually been in Jacksonville. About 5 or 6 of them, right? They named in that song?
They did name them, yes.
But that's what drill rap is. It's nonsense, but it's impactful because they're talking about people that have actually been, those people have parents, they have mothers, they have fathers, they have brothers and sisters that feel the effects of what's going on. They think it's a joke.
2 artists currently in jail tried to get released, but they were just connected to the passing of Tupac.
I remember on Bob First, you actually blamed Suge for Tupac getting killed.
Yeah.
Because it should have been up to him to protect him better.
Breaking news was released in the Tupac passing case, highlighting 2 specific names for who's responsible. It reads, the reinvestigation of Tupac's passing is revealing new names and evidence of those involved. New name brought up is Suge Knight. Investigators highlighted from day one that his side of the story on Tupac has been weird. People are questioning why Suge never gave Tupac security on that night.
First of all, you seen what happened. Suge understands who he's dealing with. Or what that just happened with, right?
Yeah.
I would have off the top shut my artist down. And if I would have shut him down, I would have moved him in a way to where could nobody get to him. Sure, you know what you doing, don't do. Like, it ain't no security on it.
To make it even weirder, Suge claims that Tupac was doing well and recovering in the hospital. As he said, when I left that hospital, me and Tupac was laughing and joking. I don't see how somebody can turn from doing well to doing bad.
I mean, when I left that hospital, me and Pac was laughing and joking. So I don't see how somebody can turn from doing well to doing bad.
So you seriously think that he might still be alive?
I'm gonna tell you this, Pac, you never know.
The weird thing about this statement is that Tupac was allegedly in a very deep sleep, according to the police, meaning there's no way it was possible that Suge was talking to him and that Tupac was laughing. Although new police reports are looking further into Suge Knight's story, as Detective Russell Poole suspected that Suge arranged Tupac's passing before he could exit the label and frame the rival Crips to throw off detectives. But this leads you into wondering which Blue members they'd try pinning the crime on. You quickly realize that Snoop Dogg is the most famous Blue member, and he had connections to the night Tupac passed. This plan was perfect for Diddy and Suge Knight because Snoop admitted himself that he was supposed to be with Tupac on that night, but he didn't go.
With Tupac, though, in regards to Tupac, I heard a story, did you give him different advice that night on where to go?
I didn't give him no advice.
Right.
We wasn't seeing eye to eye.
Right.
So.
Saying during the Tyson.
Yeah, this incident that I'm explaining to you right now was the day before that.
Okay.
So when they got to Vegas, they went their way, I went back. I mean, when we got to LA, they went to Vegas and I went home. That's why I wasn't in the car with them.
This raises questions about Snoop Dogg because is it possible he heard that people were targeting Tupac, or was he somehow involved himself? But Snoop cleared it up by saying that Tupac and him got in a disagreement.
The last time me and Tupac was on the same page, And I did an interview with Angie Martinez, and she asked me, how did I feel about Puffy and Biggie? And I told her that I like their music and I want to do music with them. Death Row didn't like that, Tupac didn't like that, so we had a misunderstanding. So on the flight back to LA, I didn't feel comfortable around them for what they had did, as far as I didn't let my security ride with me. So to protect myself and to prevent from happening, I slept under a blanket with the knife and the fork just in case something was to go wrong, but it didn't.
Suge and Diddy did such a good job framing Snoop Dogg. One viral reaction even read, "Is anyone going to mention how Snoop Dogg could have stopped Tupac from passing? These new files coming out are upsetting, knowing Tupac should still be alive," which came with Faison Love's reaction to the crime.
I always felt when Pac died, it was because Snoop could have stopped that whole thing. I mean, because like I said, Snoop was a Crip. Pac offended some Crips. Doing some game, some dumb. Really. It was set off a whole chain of events. You know, in LA don't get mad, they get even. So, you want a real Pac story? That's my Pac story. Pac would be alive today if he had stayed allies with Snoop and not cross Snoop.
You also have to remember that Snoop is a lot more removed from the streets than he was in the 90s. He used to be heavily tapped into the streets, which is why people believe he might have heard something amongst the Blue Team that they were going after Tupac. However, the timing of the Tupac and Snoop beef is very convenient for Snoop, as just 2 days before Tupac was targeted, Tupac started hating him.
I say a week before he died, we was best of friends. 2 days before he died, I don't think he liked me.
Why?
Because we was in New York, and it happened. New York, they shot at me and did all kind of shit to me, like just the worst you could think of. And I forgave him. And went and did an interview and was asked, how do I feel about Puffy and Biggie? And I was like, I like it. I want to do some music with him. And that just rubbed Cuz the wrong way, like tried to kill me, out at you, and you talking about you want to do a song with him. I wasn't thinking about his emotions. I was thinking about the way I felt at the time. I wasn't into no controversy. I liked his music. They was our friends. We was all friends at one point. This video footage of all of us hanging out.
However, the evidence the police found on Diddy reveals the entire truth. It got a fan reaction from someone who believes Diddy wanted to be Tupac so bad that he wanted to take him out. Diddy hoped he would have become what Tupac was if Tupac was no longer around.
Tupac was a shining example of everything that Diddy wanted to be, and he was that naturally. He was charismatic, he was sought after, desired, he was very well liked and a naturally likable person. He was charming, he actually had intrinsic talent, he was a star. He was what Diddy tried to force his way into becoming. Diddy, through force, through manipulation, through fear-mongering, tried to become loved and adored and liked, but all he could manage is like a twisted clone of that he was able to garner through fear. But back to my original point, he thought he triumphed over Tupac by when actually what he did was make Tupac immortal. And by Diddy continuing to live and earn more wealth and, in his mind, earn more adoration, he thought he triumphed. He thought he won overall.
Investigators began Diddy's file with his motive to have Tupac gone, relating to a tweet reading, 50 Cent says it's not over. More unreleased Diddy footage that didn't make the Netflix documentary is coming to YouTube, including footage about how Diddy started a family with Tupac's ex-girlfriend. Diddy has a daughter named Chance Combs with Sarah Chapman in 2006, who famously dated Tupac in 1995. Proof of Tupac being with Sarah Chapman was captured on November 18, 1995, and the fact Tupac was with her really made Diddy mad. Diddy described Sarah as being the one and that she was his dream girl. This was likely the reasoning for the first time Diddy tried taking out Tupac, as Tupac mentioned back in the day.
I believe so. I do believe so. I have proved things that I could say that will back up my claim, but this is not for the world to know about. You know what I mean? It's between me and him, and only he knows. So every time he say it didn't happen, or that's the only thing that makes this become an issue to everybody. I was acting. Who gets shot 5 times in acts? Oh, I didn't get shot 5 times in their vision. I only got shot once because they found the bug. The police found him, but now they the cops. Now they doing detective work.
The first attempt on Tupac failed, which led to him trying again, and a former cop discovered Diddy had Tupac dealt with for $1 million, which is what got Suge Knight to retaliate and have Biggie taken out. Investigations believe Diddy hired Keefe D in order to take out Tupac. The only reason we know this is because Keefe D himself told the police about it in an interrogation that Diddy set it up.
On all 4 of those occasions, there's San Diego, Anaheim, Irvine, and Vegas. Which ones do you actually talk to Puffy at?
Every one.
Every one of them. Which of those 4 is it when you talk to him about Tupac?
It was really about both of them. Either one. It was
Tupac and Suge, you mean?
Yeah.
When this news broke to the public, many people questioned Diddy for who he was as a person, but it got even worse when he was in an interview and they asked him about it.
Now, it was this documentary that claimed, which we know wasn't true.
Yeah, check this out. We don't talk about things that are nonsense. We don't even entertain nonsense, my brother. So we're not even going to go there, with all due respect, but I appreciate you as a journalist asking. Thank you.
Because you listen, 7 years ago, I'd have been like, yo, did you hire somebody? But no, you do it like a journalist.
Yeah, no, I mean, we wouldn't even get into nonsense like that. You know what I'm saying? It's nonsense.
Which we never believed, by the way.
Yeah, thank you.
During the Diddy trial for everything else, the news wrote, Diddy faces questions about his alleged role in Tupac's passing after being mentioned 77 times in a new legal filing. But what's very interesting is that the person who wrote Tupac's biography claims that Tupac didn't want to be involved in the street life. He claimed that Tupac was playing a role and didn't know how to defend himself or use a firearm.
Because he died because all these guys sold him this lifestyle idea, but he wasn't it. He couldn't fight. He had no athleticism. He didn't know how to shoot. He wasn't that guy, but he started to believe it.
He method acted it.
100% method acted it.
But with all eyes on Diddy being responsible for Tupac's passing, it was reported. The Las Vegas police made notes about 50 Cent's Diddy documentary, where never before heard evidence was shared about Diddy paying $1 million for Tupac's passing. Sources expect Diddy to be charged. This is what 50 Cent's been wanting for a while. He's known about this for many years because he once said he didn't like Diddy because he took out Tupac.
I hate when they leave me to talk because I always say the wrong thing. I was like, last time they left me, I said something about Puffy. You saw that? Yeah! I gotta stop doing that kind of shit. I've been talking to a therapist to try to help me with the shit I'm saying. I said crazy shit. No reason. Oh wait, maybe I said it about Puffy because he got Tupac killed.
However, they covered the police files from the night of Tupac getting targeted. They start by reading that on September 7th, 1996, Tupac was in Vegas with Suge Knight for a Mike Tyson match. Once it ended, Tupac got in an altercation with a Blue Street member.
Suge Knight and their entourage went to the Mike Tyson at the MGM Grand. Keefe D and his nephew, Orlando Lane Anderson, and 2 of their friends were also there. Keefe D told LAPD Detective Greg Kading more than a decade ago, in a proffer that couldn't be used against him, the shooting was retaliation after Tupac jumped Orlando and beat him up at the casino. Surveillance cameras recorded the fight. Tupac was angry that Lane had stolen his necklace years prior in Compton. Tupac, Suge Knight, and the entourage left the casino quickly.
After going at each other for a couple minutes, security broke up the altercation. This led Tupac back to his hotel room to change his clothes for the night before going out to a club. Around 11 p.m., Suge Knight and Tupac got in the BMW and began heading to a club. However, with their windows down and music blaring, Keefe D's crew caught them and did the crime in the middle of the street.
Knew about Tupac's concert at the Club 662. Members, including Orlando and Keefe D, jumped in their white Cadillac and started cruising the strip looking for the offender. Before long, they finally spotted Tupac's caravan. At the intersection of East Flamingo Boulevard and Koval Lane, the white Cadillac pulled alongside the black BMW with Suge on the driver and Tupac on the passenger seats. The back window of the Cadillac rolled twice in the chest, once in the arm, once in the thigh.
But with the crime remaining a mystery of who was behind it for many years, the feds found an interview that Keefe D did with DJ Vlad where he admitted he was in the car that pulled up on Tupac.
And Bubble Up was the driver, and Baby Lane and Freaky were in the back seat.
We was just all in the car together. Just say that.
This was the white Cadillac.
Yeah.
So you guys are driving around, and then you hear these girls say, Tupac, Tupac.
Got to the light. He was going to go drink, and he happened to be hanging out the window. He's hanging out the window like he was in a parade.
Tupac.
Yeah, he was.
So what happens next? You said that as you're driving up, towards the BMW, with Suge driving and Tupac in the passenger seat.
Keefe D tried claiming that Tupac pulled out a firearm first, so they did the crime to him, but police reports claim that Tupac never had a firearm with him in the car.
You said that as you're driving up towards the BMW, with Suge driving and Tupac in the passenger seat, and you said that Tupac pulled out a...
It looked like he was reaching, yeah. Yeah, it did.
Okay.
Yeah.
Did you actually...
No, once he got the reaching, I got the ducking.
So someone from your car...
That's what happened.
...started at Tupac and Suge.
But what's very interesting to find out is that a police interrogation with Keefe D from the night of the crime exists. The police knew he was a person of interest, so they interrogated him but never charged him.
Lane starts to... you say Suge looks over, he sees you?
Yeah.
He looks right at you?
Yeah, he looks at me.
Okay. When he looks over at you, and then, Tupac's busy getting evidently, the story is Tupac's trying to either get out of the
back seat or something.
Yeah, what do you see happening inside of their car?
I seen him going Suge head. I thought he was...
So Orlando across Dre?
He leaned over on the window, we rolled down the window.
But during the investigation, they also found an interview of Keefe D saying he regrets what they did.
Yeah, I hate that happened, dog, I really do, man. Because it up a lot of people's lives, dude. Hate that happened. Probably to God. I feel that was wrong, man. It was just wrong, purely wrong. You know what I'm saying? I wish it had never happened. You know what I'm saying? That's my opinion on it. It never happened, dude.
But the Tupac files get really interesting when you find out that a former officer claims that Tupac was an industry plant. He claims that he was placed in the music industry as a person to try stopping the beef between the red and blue street teams.
Well, it turns out when I talked to Tupac's longtime mentor, political mentor, former Black Panther Chokwe Lumumba, who was his first business manager, he's told me, I basically asked, well, was Tupac only pretending to be in order to appeal to gangs and politicize them? And he said yes. And that was part of his thug life agenda that he came up with his imprisoned stepfather, Mutulu Shakur. And so Tupac was just using that in order to get the and the leaders to call peace truces, first in Los Angeles, then throughout California, and then throughout the country. And that was why he was pretending to be this type. And really, he was just an intellectual prodigy.
Obviously, the plan didn't work, and if anything, it only raised tensions between the two sides. But there's a few files which claim that Tupac could still be alive, as the first piece of evidence is from an interview with a rapper named Tretch. Before performing a show in 2010, he was asked about the last time he saw Tupac when the camera was pointed down. Rather than being concerned about someone asking about his friend that passed 14 years prior, he answered the question like it was totally normal.
So if you ain't ready for it, get on the sidewalk.
One last question. Nobody knows. Y'all good? Yeah, we good. Thanks a lot, man. We good. Last time I saw him, he was in Tretch.
With Tretch claiming he last saw him in Cuba, that's the main reason why the Tupac is alive in Cuba theory started. Just a few weeks after the interview, a website claimed they had video of Tupac living in Cuba.
Yo, zoom in. That's Pac, man. He with the outlaw, and Reg from Holla Back is trying to be friendly and get autographs. Holla Back exclusive, baby. Holla Back.
But another piece that convinces people Tupac is alive is another interview that Suge Knight did.
So he was conscious on the way to the hospital?
He was conscious on the way to the hospital. He was conscious in the ambulance. He was conscious after they did the surgery.
What was the last thing that he said to you?
They left.
Just 2 weeks after Suge leaked the information, he was confronted by a man who used a firearm in his direction 6 times. Suge thought this was because of his recent interviews about Tupac and remained silent ever since. But what's weird is his son would do the same thing. In 2018, he claimed on Instagram that Tupac was alive and living in Malaysia. He followed it up with another post with someone warning him, which said, "You said too much. time for you to go. But this got Suge's son to post pictures of Tupac with modern celebrities like 50 Cent and Beyonce and captioned the post saying, "He never left us, but they'll be after me soon." Some people believe that his son was faking it for clout, but others believe it's real because him and his dad would know the most, considering how involved his father was with the situation. However, K-Flock's release date was just announced by his lawyers submitting new paperwork.
Flock here, been a lot of talk about the trial. I just want to set the record straight though, make my first official statement about it. Want to give thanks to everybody who supported me and kept me in their prayers.
Soon come home, man.
With K-Flock found not guilty of the passing of Oscar Hernandez, this resulted in his lawyers revealing a release date. It was shared. K-Flock found not guilty of M charges, but guilty of 5 other charges, including possession and RICO. Unfortunately, K-Flock's sentencing for the charges came in December, and it resulted in the news reporting K-Flock sentenced to 25 years in prison. However, his lawyers are hopeful they will be able to appeal and lower the sentence. This is currently the part of the process that K-Flock's team are in the middle of, as his lawyers claim the sentence was excessive for the part that he played in the RICO. But some good news is that K-Flock beat the M charge of Oscar Hernandez. It was followed up with a report from the court. The prosecutors put in a letter saying it could be misunderstood to the jury that they have to determine whether the defendant, with his idiosyncrasies, believed Oscar was about to use physical force. Taking his idiosyncrasies into account basically means they're looking at all the charges from Flock's personal perspective. They'll take into account that all K-Flock's known is living in the streets and being around constant crime. That's likely why Flock was so quick to act on Oscar, because he saw him reaching and Flock wanted to defend himself. Although convincing the judge of this for the other charges might be hard to do. However, we got an update from K-Flock on a jail phone call where he said this.
Talk to them, Flock. Talk to them, my dog. Soon come home, man. You got these little boys walking around with no jewels, Flock. They need you. They need you, Flock.
Lil TJ also said to free K-Flock, as he doesn't think it's fair he's locked up. But surprisingly, Bobby also shared his thoughts on the case.
What's it like for you watching the K-Flock thing happen? That's crazy. Next big artist coming out of New York.
I love Flock, son. I like that. That's my guy.
Okay.
But you know, I'm wishing him the best right now. You know what I'm saying? And you know, for the alleged charges they pushing on him, you know what I'm saying? I'm wishing his family the best. I'm wishing the whole team the best and everything, you know what I'm saying? And I hope he beat them alleged charges, you know what I'm saying? Because he got a lot of future brightness. He got, and I hope, you know what I'm saying?
That would be a sad story if that's the end of the
we ain't gonna think like that, you know what I'm saying?
You gotta stay positive.
But the craziest part about the K-Flock case is that he was initially only brought into jail on the Oscar Hernandez charge, but while he remained in jail, the feds hit him with even more charges. The only reason for the extra charges is because he was snitched on by his own members. It was announced K-Flock reportedly used a firearm against someone who used one against his friend in 2020. Today, that friend testified against him. The snitch's name is Brockington, otherwise known on the street as Dougie, not to be confused with K-Flock's best friend Dougie B. But Dougie was arrested for selling and took a plea deal to throw K-Flock under the rug. Dougie testified he was hit by one person, and K-Flock came to his defense and got the guy back with his own firearm. K-Flock defended Dougie just for him to turn around and snitch on him years later. However, to understand Flock's possible release date, it's important to read his case file. With Dougie in court, the prosecutors asked him, "After you got hit, who called you in the hospital?" Dougie answered, "K-Flock called. He said, 'You know we got you, bro.'" The prosecutors confirmed KK referred to K-Flock and continued with Dougie saying, "Yes, he was gonna retaliate against whoever hit me." The prosecutors asked him to admit it by asking, "Flock hit them up in retaliation for you?" Dougie said yes, and that someone got grazed during the altercation. Dougie continued, saying how Flock had a firearm on him and was on a call with rival members who were circling their block. This is why tensions were so high for K-Flock whenever he was walking around the streets of New York. Even Flock's close friend B-Love had this to say.
Okay, but so I saw some fans who were off at both me and academics after K-Flock got locked up because just because I guess, like, you know, in our tone when we talked about it, you know, it might have seemed like we were being a little too presumptuous. But is that weird for you? Because I'm sure you see people all the way from rappers to whoever acting like, you know, your boy is just done and he's cooked in this situation.
I ain't gonna lie, people
Especially people that don't even be knowing, like, y'all don't even know what's going on, bro.
Yeah. The main reason why the Oscar case is still relevant is because it feels like the judge gave K-Flock such a long sentence because they knew about the M charge that he got dropped. If K-Flock didn't have the Oscar situation against him, he might have got a lesser sentence, even though he got the charge dropped. But the story of the Oscar Hernandez passing starts on the day of December 23rd, 2021. K-Flock was seen walking down the sidewalk with an individual. He's wearing a blue coat, shiesty mask, and designer jeans. But not long before he was walking around the city, he yelled at his ops on Instagram Live and told them off. Once K-Flock walks past the barbershop, Oscar Hernandez recognized him from inside. Oscar was quick to run out of the barbershop to yell at Flock, saying, "What are you looking at?" Oscar didn't want K-Flock wandering around his block. Flock responds back and they begin yelling back and forth at each other. But with Flock continuing to walk off, Oscar continues following and yelling at him. Rather than backing off and going back into the shop, he continues following him. Security footage even captured Oscar grabbing inside his jacket pockets, which made K-Flock rightfully believe he was about to pull out a firearm on him. Instead, K-Flock beat him to it and used his firearm against Oscar. In an attempt to get away, Oscar tried to return to the barbershop but fell to the ground. Witnesses were quick to call the cops and paramedics arrived on scene to try saving Oscar. Unfortunately, it was too late and Oscar passed away. The only things that were left at the scene were Oscar's slides he was wearing and shell casings from Flock's firearm. With the feds beginning their investigation, they had no clue who the masked man was, and they asked the public for help. They posted the security camera footage online, and it wasn't long before the feds started getting tips on who the suspect was. K-Flock's fans were quick to realize that it looked like him, and when you compared it to another jacket that he was seen with on Live, they basically confirmed it was him. The feds sent out a warrant for his arrest, and K-Flock was quick to hire one of the best lawyers in the country within 24 hours after the incident. Once his lawyer caught wind that Flock had a warrant for his arrest, they went to the NYPD station together to turn him in. But this was accompanied with his lawyer's statement, which wrote, "I accompanied Kevin as he self-surrendered to detectives in the 30th precinct. Arrangements were immediately made with the NYPD once I learned he was wanted. As to the charges against him, we have begun our investigation into these allegations. We will address bail once we have had a chance to review the case and further investigate the DA's noteworthy disclosure." But you even heard from Flock's lawyer shortly after they reviewed the evidence against him, and he fully believed he acted in self-defense.
When the guy hits the ground and is found, he's got a loaded that was in his pocket that his hand was on at the time. We consider that to be self-defense.
So he did take him in self-defense.
That's what the allegation is. I don't want to talk too much about the details of the case, but the government claims that he pulled the, but at the same time, the person that was on the ground had his hand on a illegal loaded.
Okay. So without saying too much, you're arguing obviously self-defense.
That could be one of the arguments, self-defense. And I would say to the public, somebody's walking up to you with a loaded, it's pretty clear he's going to use it, with a criminal record a mile long. Do you want to get or do you not want to?
Oh, absolutely. I wouldn't hesitate to pull the.
The feds released their statement and believed the incident happened because of beef between street teams as they connected Flock to a long-time affiliation with the Third Side Street team. K-Flock was also becoming one of the biggest names in the streets, which gave him a lot of control on the streets and made him a target whenever his ops wanted to retaliate. Despite K-Flock ultimately beating the Oscar case, he was hit with RICO charges and more when he was locked up behind bars. K-Flock was indicted by a federal grand jury for multiple new racketeering conspiracy charges. This had hip-hop creators instantly reacting, saying it was over for K-Flock once he got the RICO charge. Even academics wrote, "Feds just unsealed an indictment on K-Flock for a RICO charge. The mandatory minimum, if he doesn't beat those charges or snitch, is life in prison. He still is facing state charges that have him locked up." Flock's lawyers released a statement on the new charges and defended Flock by saying, "We're not surprised by the federal charges, as we've been fighting Kevin's state charges for over a year now. Considering the incident was a clear act of self-defense, it wasn't a strong charge. But the fact it's now being used as a basis for a penalty charge is extraordinary. It's crystal clear on video that Kevin was about to be attacked after attempting to walk away from the other person. Only then did Kevin use an item to defend himself and his sister from the armed member who was about to pull out a firearm from his pocket." As this pretty much admits that the feds used the Oscar Hernandez charge to make more charges against K-Flock. Even though he beat that case, it just goes to show how hard it is to escape the feds when they already have you locked up and want to keep you locked up. But there were court reporters who said that the K-Flock trial was going good for him. Day one of K-Flock trial's over. Instant thoughts are the prosecutors are not ready. They're stuttering many words, not answering the judge's questions, and not supplying evidence to defend Flock's lawyer's defense. They even noted K-Flock looked emotional at the ending of his trial. Being his first trial, it makes sense, but his lawyers whispered in his ear that he's going to win the case. They believe it so much that Flock shared this message from jail.
Flock here. Been a lot of talk about the trial. I just want to set the record straight though. Make my first official statement about it. I want to give thanks to everybody who supported me and kept me in their prayers. I want to thank everyone who was involved in my trial, especially the judge who made sure I was treated with respect throughout the process. I have to thank my lawyer, Michael Ashley, no cap, for not giving up on me and putting up a fight, even though we still fighting because it ain't over till Allah says it's over. I want to thank every one of my fans and supporters. I love y'all, everything to the chin, nothing to the heart. And my spirits and faith is high as they ever been, and I pray everyone out there is at peace and feel positive too.
But ever since K-Flock was made a clear target by the feds, they are continuing to go after other rappers too, as Lil Baby was blamed for a crime that happened that he had no part in. They claim since Lil Baby was trying to film a music video on a certain block, it caused the passing of a few people.
The investigation aspect of this, Lamont Freeman was allowed to be a 13-year-old for 27 minutes before gang violence ultimately took his life. Gang violence was orchestrated by adults in our city. And cowardly acts of an Atlanta-based rapper that decided to go over into a rival gang stronghold and shoot a music video in a place that he knew he should not have been. And in the subsequent days, we saw and ultimately the deaths of 2 children as a result of his cowardly actions. And you know who you are. And I tell you that this team will work relentlessly to hold you and the persons that you are affiliated with responsible for those actions.
We've also seen Young and Ace get called out by the feds for crimes they allege he played a part in.
So Young and Ace has long been known in Jacksonville. We are consistently monitoring those groups. We have people that are always watching them. I won't speak to the chief's investigation. That's up to TPD. We don't have an investigation on him right now, but he can't move around in Jacksonville without us knowing about it. And that's for the betterment of our community.
Even Boozy shared his thoughts on what the feds do to people who they want to keep locked up, as he spoke about Melly's situation and said the feds will do anything they can to keep you if they want you.
When they want you, they want you. I knew they wanted them bad when they waited for that law to get passed. So it'd be 8-4.
Oh, right, yeah.
You know, they waited all the way till that law got passed to take him to trial.
Yeah, he was in jail for what, 2 years, 3 years?
Yeah, they could have been took you to trial.
You're right.
They waited till that law got passed and took him to trial a couple months later. When they want you, man. Just don't see how he didn't get a bond after a fucking mistrial.
But if K-Flock's appeal for his sentencing isn't successful, it won't be for another 25 years that we see K-Flock get his freedom back. Meanwhile, Kodak Black is going through a very serious court case, but it's not the only problem in his life.
Arrest warrant has been issued for South Florida rapper Kodak Black. Officials say Bill Capri, better known as Kodak Black, violated the conditions of his pretrial release. This mugshot is from his initial arrest last year when troopers pulled him over for driving with an expired driver's license and tags and found drugs on him.
From being on top of the rap world to struggling for album sales, Kodak Black needs serious help. This was him just last week on Instagram Live.
Big gangs. Bro, what is that? Big gangs. Oh, sweetheart.
Raising the question of what happened to Kodak Black and why did rappers in the industry give up on him. It begins on February 28, 2023, when it was reported. Kodak Black admits to being on drank but denies being on other items after pleading not guilty on possession and firearm charges.
I was on the I was asleep in front of my family house, bro. That's it. I was on that drink, sleep in front of my people's house. But that ain't illegal. And that ain't illegal. So all that shit is just the process that it had to be any other mud shot. The process that even though like bogus and plastered all over the internet, then on top of that it's like, bro, like I'm Haitian, and then it's just like my error. Bro, like, nah, like, man, you better off.
Not long after this Instagram Live, Kodak's house was raided and they arrested the rapper. However, he hired a lawyer and was lucky enough to secure a rehab deal rather than going to prison.
Kodak, whose real name is Bill Capri, faced a judge Tuesday in Orange after turning himself in following an arrest warrant issued for violation of his pretrial release. Authorities said he tested positive during a random test earlier this month.
What is that? unjust and not right about this situation.
Black, addressing the judge after the pretrial release technician testified he may have mixed up the samples between Black and another patient.
There's no way you tested positive. We can resolve that by way of a hair sample, and that'll clear you.
Judge Barbara Duffy then asking for a hair sample today to clear up the alleged mix-up, which Black refused, rather choosing to check into the Legacy Rehabilitation Facility for 30 days as part of his pretrial release.
The time in rehab was actually good for Kodak. He used it to better his life, began exercising, and got off the items he was using. This was when Kodak dropped his song Walk, which got over 30 million views and started his return to the music industry. But in order to continue promoting new music and getting his name out there, he went on Kai Cenat's live stream. But it didn't go well. He began sweating a lot, jumping all over the place and yelling.
You can't always say it, but at times when it feels good, that's when you say it sometimes. Yeah. I thought your name was Bubba. Hey, oh.
Kodak then went on Instagram to address the situation, but it didn't change how fans were feeling.
Say y'all people like who be on that, y'all be on all type, y'all be on say all type of stupid. But I take you one and y'all be so hurt. Y'all wanna like it anyway. Yeah. Everybody else who be coming like on that timing, they ain't got no motion. They broke, they hurt, they something, or they trying to come into life some kind of way and trying to like look any type of little. Yeah, I could come in that way. Oh, I think you need help. Oh, look, bro. Try to like, and then y'all don't think.
But in a crazy move, it seems like Kodak liked the idea of streaming because he booted up his own live stream again, but it quickly ended with him tweaking on the kitchen counter.
Bitch got the sentence. What you want a Mac? Got some sentence. Got the sentence. You bitches, boy. Got some sentence. Boy, you want you want your pack. Yeah, stuff on the Mac. Hey, stuff on the map. Then a bed rest, there's a long nap, because she took it out today and you can't do it back. You can't help.
But fans hated Kodak for the way he was acting, and he went on Instagram to tell his fans that he wasn't happy and has been waiting to pass.
Everybody getting while we waiting on other people too, right? Other people, they don't know how to let time do its thing. Everybody like let time do its shit, bro. Time is the best, what you call it, whether it's gonna heal or whatever the it's gonna let, you know, let time do it. You gotta be patient. Love is patient. Love is kind. You know, like I'm saying, it makes absolutely zero sense. No sense at all. Or try to approach the situation with any type of aggression. The whole world on. Everybody on. Your man on. Your on. Everybody getting. While we waiting. While we just down here waiting on when.
This led to fans getting really upset for what Kodak's been going through, and a tweet wrote, "Every time I see Kodak Black, I get so sad. That man has like 4 baby mamas and none of you greedy women care about him for real, because why aren't y'all helping? Probably sitting around waiting for him to pass away." This led to another fan saying, "Every day I see a new video of Kodak strung out, not even acting like a human. Is someone gonna help him?" Which went along with another tweet that wrote, "Anyone else afraid if Kodak doesn't get help, we're going to lose him?" A lot of people began tweeting things like this after seeing the clip of Kodak tweaking and eating chicken while sitting in the middle of the road.
The wrong thing. Take a seat next to him. Take a seat next to him. Enjoy that food. Enjoy that. Take a seat next to him, brother.
Oh, hold on, please. I want to be part of bro, I want to join them, bro. I want to be down here.
But Kodak admitted that he feels sad because he doesn't really have anyone there for him and that he hasn't experienced love before.
I know girl treated you right. Never, bro. I never had experienced love before. I never experienced it. I never experienced it, bro. I never experienced it, bro. I never did, bro. I never did, bro. I never experienced love, bro. I never did, bro. I never had it. I never had it, bro. I never had it, bro. I never had it.
However, Kanye West saw what was happening with Kodak and wanted to help him out, as he tried to urge other rappers to reach out to Kodak with him.
Okay, so I thought Kodak was in Miami. I see he's in Atlanta. So I'm getting a flight down to Atlanta right now and do something. So anybody that's already down in Atlanta that knows him and knows anything about him, I know I said rappers and all that, but right now I need y'all, man, to like really go and do something. Like we can't. I know y'all think I'm crashing out. Y'all, you see me talking. I'm expressing myself. And look, man, please don't. I know I said a lot, and just let me go down there and go help this man out.
But in a pretty sad video that came out about Kodak, his friend recorded him out of his mind pacing around his room. It goes to show the people around him aren't looking out for his best interest, as they'd rather let him continue to tweak and film him rather than getting him help.
I'm Drake's favorite rapper.
Who?
I'm his favorite rapper.
You Drake favorite rapper?
Yeah.
Nah.
He always say that. Even his people always say that. They always say that. Even when he ain't, you know what I mean? Even when he ain't around, so and shit like, oh no, it's for real, bro. You just got it.
Even rapper Boonk reached out online to tell Kodak he needs to get help, and he knows that Kodak is only doing this because he's sad emotionally.
But right now, man, we worried about you. You don't look too healthy. In front of outside looking in, it's obvious that you're a and I don't believe for 1 second you just doing for your own enjoyment. Nah, you trying to find something to fill up that void that's within your chest. See, I've been where you at right now. But by the grace of God, I'm clean. Them strongholds have been pulled down. Them chains are broken. So I'm qualified to talk about this. You got to make a decision, bro. You got too many people looking up to you. And from one father to another, got to set the right example for your son. This coming from somebody who genuinely cares. So if you come across this video, you want to sit at the table, break bread, man, holla at me.
Kodak was quick to begin using again, and when one fan tried to encourage him by saying he loves when Kodak is sober, Kodak responded aggressively.
Say I love when Kodak's sober. Chain sober. I look sober.
Tigers going for 2.
I know it's sober. For what? For what? Look at all this money. Look at all this cash. Sober for what? Too young sober. Young sober.
Even at a Baltimore Ravens game he attended, he also looked out of it. As a tweet wrote, NFL fans are worried for Kodak Black's health as he appeared off while showing love to Lamar Jackson and the Ravens.
Hey Kodak, what you gotta say about the Ravens, Big G? I love the Ravens. Hello. Hey, what about that boy LJ, man? What you gotta tell the flock about that boy LJ, man? Yeah. Hey, that boy Yak in the city. Yeah, Yak in the city. I live out here. Hello. Baltimore, let them know.
This is what got many people to react to what was happening to Kodak, and it resulted in Wallow and Gilly giving him some life advice, saying, don't ever doubt yourself. You got them babies counting on you.
Don't ever doubt yourself. You got them babies counting on you. There's gonna be times where you're gonna doubt yourself, you're gonna be in pain, but them babies counting on you. You gotta be here. And I'm telling you that because a lot of people get around you and they see your success and they say, oh man, a lot of people need you, and they yes man you. I ain't here to yes man you. You know me, every time we connect with you know I got love for you. Not because I need you, I got love for you because you're a young cat and I was young, Gil was young. Live. And I'm telling you that because you see that love that lady get, you see how you light up when I talk about your babies? Live. These people wanna laugh, they wanna joke, they wanna criticize. They don't know your pain, I don't know your pain. But I know one thing, them babies counting on you.
They said this because Kodak has 5 children and acts as the main source of income. He needs to be present and stop tweaking or he'll let his family down. Despite Kodak not being in a good mental state, he was somehow invited to the White House and he gave an interesting speech.
So like imagine a world if all of us was just one color. If all of us was just blue or green. Oh, if everybody was smart, you gotta have some dumb people. Oh, what if everybody was rich? Who's gonna take the trash out?
You can tell he wasn't acting normal during the speech and he'd issue an apology after it happened.
I'm honestly, I'm sorry to everybody. I'm sorry to the people who I heard it. I'm sorry if you don't understand me. I'm sorry if you just don't like me. I'm sorry, and I'm sorry. And I'm sorry to everybody that I've wronged, and I'm so sorry to all the times I made my mom cry, and I'm sorry to all the girls whose heart I broke. I'm sorry to Young Miami. I'm saying for kind of disrespecting her and stuff like that. She accepted my apology.
She did?
But he also responded to Kanye with something pretty concerning. He talked about how Kanye was a real one because he supports Diddy.
Yeah. Kanye a real one. You know why you a real one? Cause like I'm some whole kind of like Kanye the only still did it. Cause he know he ain't a lot of the other look at me. Unclean, yeah. And why Kanye like.
But Kodak's getting himself in legal trouble. He's now scheduled to face court hearings for trafficking and possession charges. With him being a repeat offender, he won't be able to settle for a rehab program. They want jail time for Kodak Black. Not long before getting hit with the charges, Kodak spoke on Instagram Live about using a specific substance, the same one from the show Breaking Bad.
Yeah, it must be off today because he eating good. What you mean? You mean like as in like I must be off it or I must like not be on it? What you trying to say? Whoever the his name, Mellow Fellow. You don't know me. I eat good. I eat good every day, all day, yeah, man. High or not, yeah. I'm doing no. I tried it though. I don't keep for real. But I'm gonna tell y'all this right here, right now. Man, everybody be on. It's nothing. You feel me? That's why I said that. That's why I had said that, you feel me?
The court hearing did not go in his favor. A lawyer present in the courtroom later wrote, "Chatter inside the courtroom between prosecutors and law officials makes it sound like Kodak isn't being given another chance. Time to face a sentence, but for how long?" Kodak didn't like this and got very emotional on a live stream.
Yes. I like that. All right, BP, thank you, brother. Yeah, you was all right, coming up next, I want to play some Drew Hill. I got Camper, I got Anita Baker, all on the way. My name is QB Rodriguez. I'm in for Shelby Russian today. Hot 105.
This got the attention of Boozy, who said how Kodak might have a pretty rough time because of his connection with 6ix9ine and the time that they made a song together.
You know, Kodak done been in jail, bro, so that was a detrimental move to him, bro. Like 6ix9ine, I'm gonna tell you this, Vlad, and I'm pretty sure 6ix9ine knows this too. 6ix9ine is the most hated person in prison. Really? You hear 6ix9ine name damn near every other day. When people looking at their case, this motherfucker goes 6ix9ine. Like he is hated, he's hated, bro. What Kodak did, he's gonna have to stand on that. He better stay out of, I got 9 calls from the feds, from the state, everything. Like, Boost, is it true? I know people are, bro, they gonna get on Kodak for that, bro. If he ever...
Prosecutors have kept an eye on Kodak since being released from rehab, and what they've gathered from how he's acted will be used in court to argue a jail sentence for Kodak.